Good morning and happy Monday, everybody. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. And, in Indian culture, when I was raised, my parents always told me when it rained and it was starting something new, it was good luck. So we're going to start a new concept today. So I believe it's some extra good luck. And for all of you, if you don't follow Tommy Pistana on Instagram, I highly encourage you follow him. Tommy's a friend, a client, a coach here, and anyone who needs a little motivation of what people's journeys are like, he shared a post the other day, which I thought was just incredible because a lot of times we look at people's success and you look at where they are today and you really don't know what someone went to get there. And, he shared some pretty intimate details about how he started all the way down to just what it was like sitting in an office, sometimes crying by himself because of how hard it was to get started. So, Tommy, I applaud you for sharing that and being a constant motivation to others. I encourage everyone to read that post because, look, in the end of the day, this is not a simple business. Our goal during these sessions is to make it simple for you to take action. And what I want to talk about today is how we continue to build this foundation. Right. And I cannot be more excited about this concept because I think it's a concept that's going to literally change the way you approach your business, you have conversations, you approach your relationships, and continue to make money and make it simple. Right. Because we can all get in our own way and make things complicated. Who's ever heard of the word the lifetime value of a client? Right. It's often used. And if you think about it, why are so many other industries and all these tech people so interested in real estate? Because the lifetime values of your clients is ridiculous. Think about how many different industries you selling a house affects. Think about how many other people make money. That's why you guys are constantly solicited every day. So we're going to get into this today. And like what success looks like at the end of the day is, how to value your clients, who are the most important people, how to prioritize your relationships. And I'm going to say this in advance. The first thing you're going to say is, this sounds really great, but how do I do this next? I'm bringing on one of my dear friends and clients, first few clients, Angela Swift-Marr. She's going to share her entire gifting system, what gifts she gives, how she gives them, how she uses this system, how it generates 90% of her business. And, when I met Angela a couple years ago, Angela's gone from, I believe, like 23 million to probably close to 100 this year in the last few years, right? So it's like, this is someone who does this really, really well. And if you've met Angela, she's like the gift that keeps giving. She just wants to give and give and give. So tomorrow she's going to come here and share how to use the system in your business. All right, so let's get started today. Now, business is all about relationships. How well you build them determines how well you build your business. Now, this whole concept of everyone is the same is not very applicable to relationships and your business. Now, if you think about your business, for most of us here, and we go through that data sheet, 80 to 90% of our business is from our past clients and centers of influence. Now, out of that, there's a subset that drives the majority of that 80 to 90%. Who here has a few key referral sources that drive the majority of their business? Hit yes in the chat that you can know of. Like people that come to your mind that are like, this person really supports me in my business. I would think of one, right? I would write Compass. Right. So a good amount of us. And the question is how do you really know where to focus and what to do? And how do we turn this into an actual financial system? Now, look, I'll be the first one to tell you, relationships generally are about being great active listeners, meeting someone where they are and having the conversation that the other person wants to have. But in a business sense of how we're going to think about this today and going forward, it is going to be a financial model. So the value of our clients, the lifetime value of a client is very different than the way you approach a relationship. I am not telling you to treat people based on money. I'm telling you to treat people based on principles. However, you need to be able to identify these people via a financial system. Now, let's talk about today's roadmap. We're going to go through the lifetime value of a client. Now, let's think about some of the top brands. If you're a VIP status in any of these brands, you know it. And I'll give you a few. if I have a Platinum Elite membership or reward status with Marriott because I travel a lot and we do all of our events at Marriott properties. So I know that I get complimentary upgrades. I know that I have like a guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout and a variety of other different things that they offer me because I use them often. JetBlue, I fly JetBlue a lot. They have a Mosaic status. You get free bags, you get um, early access onto planes, and you get a variety of other complimentary upgrades and things. Saks Fifth Avenue and a lot of other clothing companies, right? If you're a VIP member there, like the tailoring's free, you have early access to sales. It is very evident if you're a VIP client of any large brand where you spend a certain amount of money or transact in a certain way that they offer you a certain amount of benefits. Now, my question is to everyone today, who here has a clearly defined system, whether it's internal or external, right? Internal is you know what the system is. External is your client or whoever this other party knows. You know what? I send Linda a lot of business, and as a result, Linda is always sending me out to dinner or recommending great plate. Like there's a certain exchange expected there. So hit yes if there's a clearly identified system either by you or the other party that you currently are operating. I would expect 10 to 20% tops. Okay, don't write no. You guys are skewing my math. Sort of. Okay, so for most of us, what I want to identify here, this is a massive opportunity for you today. You know, Tony Robbins, and I keep referring to this, calls this the 1 millimeter rule. He says you don't need to make these massive changes. Like once you have a business, it's these small changes that you need to make to really grow. And if you think about it, what do we all really want? Is what you're doing profitable? Yes. You know how to sell a house and make money. These next three things are really what you're working towards: repeatable processes. Understanding the lifetime value of a customer creates a repeatable process over and over again, how you can identify your most valuable relationships, how to engage with them, and how to continue to get more referrals. Then after repeatable, is your business repeatable? Is it predictable? Meaning, are we doing these repeatable tasks over and over again to get a predictable result? If I do X, then I get Y. And then the Z in all this is it scalable through other people? So as we go through this system, we're going to show you how to identify the system, like how to create the system, which makes it repeatable. Now we know over the course of a year, when you track this, what comes out of it in these relationships will become predictable. And you can scale this through other people because you can automate things very simply, like happy home anniversary flowers. You can go to a local florist, provide them a spreadsheet, give them a note card, and they'll actually send the flowers out for you and they'll stick your note card on every time. And that becomes scalable through other people, right? Because we can't do everything on our own. Excuse me. So how does this all really work? The lifetime value of a client. Now, let me explain to you what this generally is. It's identifying how valuable is each client. And it really then shows you who are the most valuable relationships in your business. And then as a direct result, where to focus your time and resources. Now, think about this. How do you currently know who are your most valuable relationships? How do you track this right now? Right? How do you track who sends you the most referrals? How do you track who are your most valuable clients? How do you track all this so you know who to spend more time with, who to send better gifts to, and who really to prioritize? Drop in the chat how you track this right now. I'm interested to see what everyone has to say. How do you track? Tags in the CRM, A+, not well. CRM tagging. Business tracker, not well. Tags. All right, for everyone that has tags, what kind of tags do you use? Sasha, I like it. Top 50. A, B, C, D, dear God. Okay, listen, I'm not an A, B, C person, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I want to make this even simpler for you, right? Because what you need to do is figure out, has somebody sent you, there's an A. Now I'll give you an example. Now, let's see. Bailey could have sent me 5 referrals and Abby Joseph could have sent me 15 referrals. but they both could be considered an A, right? Because they've sent a lot of business. Should both of them get the same exact type of treatment? Probably not, right? If you went to, let's say, Saks Fifth Avenue or any high-end store, the person who's transacting more in a bigger bracket will get better services. And this is the same aspect we want to bring to your business, right? It's the same way when you go places like, thank you for being a platinum elite. Thank you for being this, right? And we could base this off of tiers in everyone's business. And here's the thing. This does not have to be complicated. You know who's going to make it complicated? You are. By coming up, they're called overlays. Like in a mortgage, an overlay is an additional condition that a bank adds on, right? Banks sell their loans on on the aftermarket, either Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. Some people will keep and service their own loans, but the majority of them go to Freddie or Fannie. And generally speaking, a bank should operate off the Fannie or Freddie Mac guidelines. Well, places like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they have things called overlay, internal conditions on top of the ones that already exist. Don't do that to yourself in doing this, right? Because ultimately the goal is to create a simple system that allows you to grow and benefit from your most valuable relationships. Now let's really think about this. If Angela has a client, John, who's referred 4 clients and has purchased their own property through her, totaling $350,000 from GCI, should John get the same candle during the holidays as a client who earned Angela only $25,000 in GCI? No. How often are we just categorizing people? Now, if Bailey is, since you're part of this conversation today, good morning. If Bailey's like very thoughtful, kind, and has sent us a bunch of clients and everything else, and then all of a sudden she feels that she has a personal relationship for me, and then gets some canned email that clearly wasn't written by me, that looks personalized, like, hey, Bailey, thank you for all that you do. You know, she might be a little bit upset. I probably would have been better off just not sending the email because it's unauthentic, right? So when we start thinking about our businesses like businesses, look, remember the whole before, during, after? This is where we need to focus and build because it has not been cannibalized by other people. And if we look at reality, this is where all of our business is coming from anyway. So why aren't we doing this? We need to understand that relationships have different value to them when it comes to our business. Some people just want to buy a house and never speak to you again. Other people want to buy a house, never speak to you again, but still refer you a bunch of people. Some other people like being social, out and about, and like gifts and coffees and teas and other things. You need to understand who your clients are. So before we go into the system, write this down. How am I listening to my clients so I can better serve them after the transaction? How am I listening to my clients during the transaction so I could serve them better after? Now, if Bailey says to me that she got married and had a champagne wedding, and let's say Dom Perignon was her wedding of choice, champagne of choice during her wedding, right? And now she sent me a client and I sent her a note that said, hey, Bailey, thank you so much for thinking of us. I know that you shared during your wedding, one of the things you enjoyed most was the champagne, and Don P was your favorite. I hope you and your husband can enjoy a bottle and a nice night of celebrating your new home. Talk soon, Chirag. Wouldn't that be a little different than just sending a champagne bottle that just said, hey, thank you for your referral? If you don't listen, you can't do the second part. You're just giving, right? If you put the connection, the emotion with the thoughtfulness together, plus this whole financial tracking system, you have unstoppable momentum because now people are part of your community. Now people see that you care. Now you're rewarding the people for them giving you referrals, right? It's like called Pavlov's conditioning theory. Look it up, right? Someone does something good, you give them a reward, they're going to want to do it again because it's positive reinforcement. So let's show you how this all works. Number one, you create tags based on GCI tiers. I'll show you guys how to do this. Number two, you tag each client after a sale and update it as a referral comes in. Number three, you prioritize your most valuable relationships. Simple, right? So someone put an example in based on this system that they have of a client, and I'm going to walk everyone through a live example. I'm starting to salivate over the idea. I like that. Let's see. If not, I'm going to find someone else here too. Anyone have an example? Okay, so here it is. Sasha, if a client who sends or results in over 50 GCI comes to the Padres game, comped in my suite. Okay, so that's an example of what they do. I sent ice cream for Jenny's as a thank you. They have 3 kids. Okay, so no, all right, so here's what I'm looking for. Leticia, Michael, and Darlene. You're going to be my 3 clients. I hope I pronounced your name right. So Leticia buys a house. I'm selling a new construction development, and all the homes are $1 million, right? And so I sell her a house. Keep it a GCI. Do not make this complicated. Now, her lifetime value is it's $1 million at a 2.5% commission. It's $25,000. Now, Leticia loves Michael and wants Michael to be her neighbor. So now she sends Michael to me, and Michael buys a house. Hers goes up to $50,000 because now I've gotten 2 transactions out of her, and now Michael goes up to 25. Now, Leticia also wants to refer Darlene from Atlanta and says, you know what, you should come live here in sunny Santa Monica. It is amazing. So now her value goes up to 75 and Darlene's at 25. And so now when you're looking at how to gift, how to spend time on who to do what with, you have all these categories, right? But now we have agents that refer us clients as well. Besides clients, I would use the same exact numerical tags. And then I would use a second tag to identify the subsets, right? Like agent referral, client referral. So if you have a person that's a client referral, any client that refers you is under that tag, and then you go through your numerical ones. So then when you want to prioritize finding people of the highest value, you can start putting client referral and adding in the second tag, and then it becomes really easy to filter. The tags versus GCI versus sales volume. Do this all on GCI. Do not do this on sales volume. It's just so much easier and simpler this way, and just do it on how much money you make. All right, I'm going to pause here before I go forward. If you're lost, just hit the word lost so I know if enough of you are lost, I have to slow down. The GCI resulting in a transaction. One, two, three, four. 5, 6. Okay, so I'll do a quick recap for those who are lost. Pretty much what you're going to do, and this will help make it a little clear, you're going to break down your database when people transact with you into these tags, right? And don't use these exact tags. This is just for a person that has an average transaction price of $1 million. So GCI is anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000, depending on the market you're in. So every time someone transacts, remember, you're going to make a note of this, right? Like Bob referred Darlene. Darlene bought a $1 million home, total lifetime value, $25,000. Then you make another note, right? But you're updating the tags as time goes along. So then all of a sudden, Bob refers another person. So now he gets rid of his 25 tag. Now he's at 25 to 50. And this goes on and on and on. It's a rolling thing, right? Because eventually you're going to get to a point of there's some agents or clients and or both that have referred you hundreds of thousands of dollars of business, right? When we had Jess Sigmund on here, she said 70% of her business this year is from agent referrals. Kate has 25 agent referrals this year, right? So they're keeping track of who's sending what and how much it is. So they also know who to prioritize a relationship with. Imagine you had 50 agents that sent you deals, which would be great over the last few years. Now you go to a retreat, who do you know to spend time with? Well, you're probably going to want to get some FaceTime or take someone out to dinner or put a group of these people together for drinks that have sent you the most. So this is the way you actually break down the tags. When we get into what kind of gifts, right, we're going to get into that tomorrow. Angela's going to share a system. And no, it's for the direct referral, Martha. It's just one. So if Bob refers Darlene then refers someone else, Darlene gets the credit. It's too complicated any other way. Referrals that don't result in sales. You can Some people only want to do sales. Other people will count all of it because it's the thought that counts. So if you want to put people in there who turn into transactions, or you just want to put everybody, right? Because Martha, if I referred you a $25,000 person, why shouldn't it count, right? The subtags again are just secondary identification marks. So like a subtag would be past client referral. A subtag would be agent referral, right? So that's an agent who refers. Think of the subtags as a way of breaking down a group. So if you think about shirts, right? Past clients would be a category, just like a shirt. But within shirts, there's t-shirts, there's long sleeve shirts, there's polo shirts, there's cutoff shirts, there's tank tops, there are undershirts. Do you follow what my thought process is here? No, I would just use all these tags in the Compass CRM. So I would make them in categories 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100. Well, and if you work in $50,000 increments, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, and make them larger numbers and not a bunch of little things. You got to remember, every single thing you do to make this more complicated will make this harder to do. This is the easiest way to do it because you only have these tags in either $25,000 or $50,000 commission blocks. And then when someone does something, you go in there, you make a note. So it's in like your activity log. And then from there going forward, you simply just update it. That's it. Do you guys all feel that this is something you can do? Hit yes. Perfect. All right, listen, here's how we get started. Number one, time block. And I'll share with you, I've been going through coaching myself, and I still do for about 15 years now. And do you know the one thing that no one ever talks about in coaching? Hey guys, you signed up for coaching. If you don't have active time blocks during the week to implement what you learned, then I'm doing you a disservice. You have to have time to implement. So when you time block, and you do it your cell phone. The difference between a good chunk of us doing this is accountability. Meaning, if I was stuck doing this, I could reach out and say, hey, Antonio, like, I would really like to do this for my last 12 months. Can we meet twice a week for 30 minutes where we just jam out and work on this for the next 3 weeks to really get this done? He'd say yes. Now, him and I could literally just get on Zoom just like this. We could put some music on in the background. Sometimes you would get stuck just having somewhere that you could just ask the questions, like really easy to do, and find a partner and do this. Right. I know an agent had shared today that they got a $2 million referral out of a relationship they met in an accountability group during Blueprint. That's all that this is. Go back and tag your last 12 months of sales and then create a strategy for your most valuable relationships. That's all you have to do. Because you got to remember, if you time block, you do 20 clients per time block, over 5 days, it's 100 clients. Right? We need to build scalable foundation. So what I want you to do is this: tag your last 12 months of sales, still focus on that goal of getting to organizing 100 contacts, and go to an accountability group. There is no reason that all of us should not be going to these groups, not even just to make our calls, but also to network. Right. So now when you're doing your 5 calls a day or reaching out to 5 people, it should be really easy to know who to prioritize because you actually have a financial value to each person. I've done thousands of coaching sessions and no one has a system like this. They're all categorized by A, B, C's, and D's, referrals, top 50, VIP. But within those things, how do you know who the most valuable people are? I guarantee you, the more you look at data, the more you segment your business, the more you know where to focus, and the more you execute on that, the faster you'll continue to grow. And all the stuff we're talking about is how to build a real base to our business. Now, tomorrow, Angela is going to come on and she's going to share her gifting system. These are all things that you can do to grow your business. There's nothing she does that's like very market specific. You know, some stuff might be, you know, that she does things local to her community, but then just do it local to your community. And look, I shared this with the group this morning, and I will share this with all of you. This is really like my version of I have a dream. And I have a dream that every agent's business is simple. I have a dream that every agent knows where to focus and they could prioritize relationships. I have a dream that you guys continue to get business in the easiest, most efficient way, and that you build the life that your business fits into. And you're no longer running around trying to figure out how to have a life while chasing clients. That's not what you all signed up for. I have a dream that you guys all have bases that you continue to build that can be very scalable. My dream is that every single person shows up and knows what to do and is not overwhelmed, is no longer confused. That you don't have to spend time on your cell phone because you don't know what to do or you're just distracted or nervous. So you go into your email or Instagram. That your life becomes easier, life becomes happier, you earn more money and everything gets better. That is my dream for everyone. It's fulfillment and happiness, both professionally and both personally. And I know that if you follow the system we've given you, it works. It's not complicated. It's meant to give you all the steps. We've created accountability groups. Your peers here are here to help you and support you. I believe in every person. I truly want every person to come here, not only to grow their business, like that's one aspect, but it's really to have a better life. Your business is not meant to consume your entire being. If there's anything we've learned over the last 2 years is how precious life is. So every time you think about not doing a time block, every time you say no to a time block, you're saying no to something else in your life, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the things that we don't do during the day that force us to say no to the things that we have to do. And remember, there's 8 hours in a day. You have no idea how much you can truly get done if you learn how to focus. One of the most important things I ever taught my kids are how much you can do in a day if you plan. And now, like, it's kind of karma in the sense. Now my kids are like, Daddy, we have 90 minutes. Do you know how much we can do in 90 minutes? I'm like, oh, dear God, like, you guys want to sit down? But it's really true. If you cut out all the distractions, you turn your email off and you focus for 1 hour, you have no idea how much you can get done. If you're really engaged with people and listen, you have no idea how much more valuable the conversations become to the other party and to your business down the road. Everything you need is here. The community's here, the people are here, the accountability sessions are here, the expert mentors are here, your colleagues are here to help support you. Get to know people in the group, and if you can't do it alone, just do it together. So tomorrow we'll have Angela here to share her gifting system, and as always, with love in my heart, I love you all. Have a very powerful day, and make sure you put time in your calendar to do this. Oh, wait, hold on, don't leave. So we are going to start polling everyone at the end of this for like 2 minutes. It's anonymous. Just tell us if we did a great job or it sucked, right? So this way we know how to improve the content based on your feedback, right? So please let us know how we did. And this is a great lesson on what to focus on. There's like 1, 2, there's 63 5s, 21 4s, and 87 of you have participated. So thank you. All right, I'm going to drop off, but if you haven't, please answer the poll and make sure you time block. Thanks, Wayne. Bye, everybody.